2.5 Gamers podcast. It's just two of us today because Matej, the most flamboyant UA manager, his kid was sick, so he couldn't make it.
To stay home.
But he's here in spirit. So we're going to talk about a couple of things today. So I don't know if anyone in here, like, do you guys listen to the podcast? Not really? Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So what we've been doing a lot in the podcast, we've been doing this special segment on hybrid casual games and what we think are the leading hybrid casual games currently on the market and what we're seeing with the hybrid casual games lately. So today's talk, or half an hour talk, is going to be related about game design in these existing hybrid casual games and the ad monetization side. So we're going to talk a bit about where we're seeing the market, who's scaling the games, and why we think these games are scaling and why some are doing better.
Yeah, but on the other hand, because it's a live podcast, we would be glad if you could pretty much participate and just listen to us rambling. So at any point, if you feel free again to raise your hand, have a question, right here, right there, no worries. Like, that's why we're here. So
yeah. Okay, so Remo, let's start off.
Yeah.
If you start by giving a brief overview what the top hybrid casual games currently are on the market and what you think a hybrid casual game actually is by definition.
Yeah, so for those who didn't attend my talk, this is a recap. Hybrid casual games are currently the biggest answer for hyper casual studios how to get into IAP monetization as fast as possible, but they need to get the product know-how somehow in order to create an economy with spend that. And regarding the definition, hybrids, I would say, needs to make still around 50% more or 50% plus overall revenue from ads, and then 40% plus revenue from IAPs, and then we are having the 10% buffer somewhere 50-50, 60-40. We are talking about hybrid. So we have checked the current those 7 games I talked about before, what they're pretty much doing currently, and it seems very interesting.
What are the 7 games?
So the 7 games on the market that are quite big meaning that over 1 million a month in IAPs, and I think we already lost 1 game when we were checking that one.
Yeah.
Dreamdale unfortunately is out.
Dreamdale's dead.
It's not dead, it's not that big. It's not making 1 million plus already IAPs in revenue. So we have 6 games then left, which is Snaker, Survivor.io, and Archero on Hobby. And then we have Mob Control, My Perfect Hotel, and Alien Invasion. And those are the big and hybrids that we have.
My favorite is My Perfect Hotel, because I think we'll get onto this later, but I think this is the future of what hybrid casual gaming will actually look like. Jakub disagrees. Why?
We'll see.
Anyway.
We'll see. The thing is that the one that's most interesting from the whole crowd is definitely My Perfect Hotel, and I would say the most active one. We could already see that Say Games probably shifted their focus from Dreamdale to My Perfect Hotel mainly, because My Perfect Hotel still makes something around, what we saw there, like 14 million? Yeah, 15 million downloads in September, 14 million downloads in October already. And we know that because November is just starting, October finished. So it's still pretty high. Regarding the trend line, it's not scaling up, it's already a little bit of downscaling, but more of a something like this, like stabilizing. It's not definitely declining. So yeah, that's the most interesting one. And
it's most interesting because it's earning 70% of his revenues coming from ads. So it's by far the hybrid casual game that has the most ad revenue as a share of overall revenue out of all the hybrid casual games on the market.
But from my previous talk, if you're earning 70% with ads, it means your economy is lacking. That's why they're updating the game.
I'm not sure I buy it. Has everyone played My Perfect Hotel? Hands up.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so not everyone is at the forefront of the hybrid casual craze, huh?
Yeah, if you didn't play recently, there was some, I would say, pretty major update, which I think helps them to sustain the whole UA ROAS spend, because what they did there, again, borrow some of the parts from a Hobby template. So if you look at what was happening within the game, idle games have this very chronic problem that there's nothing permanent in those. You create your hotel, you reset it or move to other hotel, everything's lost, you start from scratch. That's a big problem, because why would I spend on something that I would lose anyway? So what they added is that before they would have the reset currency. So in My Perfect Hotel, if you complete the hotel, you resetted the hotel, and then you started earning this prestige reset currency that can speed up the current hotel you are in, but you couldn't get the reset currency from the last hotel, only the ones that are resetted and the previous ones. So this was some kind of a duct tape thing, I would say. Not really, well, definitely was not working for me, but they need to sync the currency somehow within the economy. So what they created a permanent upgrade tree. The one that's completely taken from like Hobby templates, Survivor or Archero, and you can spend only the reset currency there, and it speeds up again the progress in all of your hotels because you get permanent kind of upgrade into parameters. Which again, probably is what I think will happen next, where every hybrid will introduce more and more progression vectors later down the line as they eat up their current progression.
What is a progression vector?
Progression vector means that, let's say, we have level 80 character and we just gonna run out of levels and he has whatever gear or weapons, so we need to put the money somewhere. So let's add artifacts, let's add pets, let's add horses, whatever, some different thing that we can sync our currency into, sync new resources into, best executed with a completely new mode, completely new currency, completely new something that new players can get into, but also all the other players, the new ones, not just the old ones, because you need to create an entry point for everyone. And this is going to happen probably also with Alien Invasion. I just waited for that. When Alien Invasion going to again introduce a new progression vector.
So that's your theory why you think it's scaling most.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's because of the skip-its. Like, I think that's like probably really
Because they
interesting
don't
thing.
have skip-its.
Yeah. Has anyone ever bought a skip-it? Like, oh.
1%.
Perfect, one. All right, so.
See, that's the problem with skip-its. Nobody knows what they mean. That's why they're not using it.
So one of the most interesting things from the hyper-casual kind of evolution is pretty much that these games are reimagining what ad monetization looks like. So they're making the ads in the games so annoying that they encourage users to actually want to skip them. So there's a couple of games on the market. It's Mob Control and Dreamdale, where they essentially offer tickets that you buy as a user that you then can use to skip the rewarded ad, thus turning in an impression that usually fetches you anywhere about 2 cents an impression in the States, turns it into something that usually generates 12 to 20 cents if you actually buy it as an IAP. So, problem with skip-its is that no one's buying them. No one's buying them. So we have one person in the room who's bought a skip-it, so that's actually true. Both Mob Control and Dreamdale, on the SKUs, they're not even in the top 5 on any of these games, and these games are making anywhere between 4 to 5 million a month, and none of it is from skip-its. So, it was a good idea, but what's happening now is kind of already the 1.0 in a 2.0 thing for ad monetization for hybrid casual games. And the 2.0 is what's actually interesting, and that's being done right now by My Perfect Hotel. Do you want to explain how it works?
Yeah, it pretty much works same as skip-its, but just with hard currency. Easy as that. So what they do is that with every kind of a rewarded ad placement, you have the possibility to watch the video, but you have the possibility to also skip the video, and you skip it through hard currency, which you can normally buy in the shop as you used to. That's it.
Yeah.
Very simple, very easy, very understandable. Nobody needs to now learn this kind of what is skip it, what even this whole mental model around skipping ads through some kind of arbitrary currency and this kind of bottleneck in between. So my guess is that this will be the way to go, and I'm just waiting when mob control shifts out of it.
I mean, the biggest issue with rewarded ads is like, yeah, they're great, but you need to get your user base to watch a lot of rewarded ads. So getting users to watch maybe 5 impressions per DAU, that usually will mean that you're adding about 12 to 18 cents of player LTV over, yeah, let's say 14 days. So if you want to add actually anything meaningful, you actually need to get users to watch 15 to 20 impressions per DAU, which Alien Invasion, to be fair, is probably doing. But the biggest issue with having people watch that many rewarded ads is that every rewarded ad takes 30 seconds. So you're giving up a lot of game time. And yeah, using premium currency to skip this is a good solution.
Yeah, and don't forget about all the interstitials that they are throwing at you anyway. In the meantime,
it's the Lord's work. It's the Lord's work. Anyway.
Yeah, but I think it will just go like this forward in a way. A lot of other kind of permanent vectors will be added, especially in this arcade idle formula, which again struggles with permanency. But getting rid of skip-its is just one way to go. I think there's also other kind of multiple avenues that ads can be utilized later on.
Do you not want to talk about the shark fin that pretty much My Perfect Hotel has done? You don't think that's down to the premium currency, like letting to skip that ads?
Don't know. Like,
So My Perfect Hotel has like 2 million downloads than any other hybrid casual games in the last month, which is quite impressive.
yeah, like the thing is that some of these games are more ad-driven already, as we see. Like, as I said, My Perfect Hotel is probably a little bit struggling with their economy, and they need to add more progression vectors in order to put that ratio of IAP somewhere around 40. Because just by like, our surface level estimates, we think it's what, like 25? Something
A bit
like
more than that.
yeah, because they make 40 million downloads and you just see like 1 million plus something IP. It's just too small. So they
Triple that and you get the real revenue.
yeah, essentially. So they definitely need to push up on the economy. But if we look to something like, let's say, Alien Invasion or Survivor.io, they all have very robust economy, and I would say they need to even catch up on the ad side.
Yeah.
Because the ad side isn't really that utilized, as you see.
So last week someone from Popcore got very angry at us because they said they also had hybrid casual success.
Yeah, I talked to them.
Yeah,
it was not big enough.
Yeah. How come we haven't seen any other really big hybrid casual games come out in the last couple of months?
Yeah, as mentioned before, the problem is that everybody is currently trying, and keep in mind that one of the biggest issues here that hyper-casual studios were used to kind of copy what's trending in the charts. You had your typical Helix Jump, whatever, whole IO, 20 different clones in like 1 week. That works perfectly still, like don't get me wrong, if you were between like the second, fifth, third clone, you can still make substantial revenue out of it, but this doesn't work for hybrids, because hybrids still stay there, you're going against them, and you know, it's not about downloads now, it's also about IP revenue. And
it's been a thing now, these hybrid casual games, for so long. So together they make about 30 million, the 5 games, they make
20.
30 million. Yeah,
20.
28.
Yeah, okay.
28.
With ads, you mean?
Yeah, no, without ads.
Without ads?
Yeah, without ads.
Okay.
So combined, they probably make 70 million a month. Why isn't more people trying to copy them? I don't get it. Like,
Because
it's been
hard.
alive.
It's really hard. Do you know how many Survivor clones are there?
2.
See, like 20. The thing is that none of those is just big enough, because again, you need the expertise. You cannot just copy it when you see it, because there's a lot of these kind of small intricacies that make even the fun factor of the game. Like, for instance, do you know that Archer cheats the progression? Archer literally cheats the progression because they have the comeback mechanic, meaning that the closer you are to the monsters, the faster you are shooting. Nobody tells you that. Like, it's not really...
I didn't know that.
See?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much because they want to make you feel that you are that good, but you're not that good. Of course.
Is anyone in here working on a hybrid casual game? Ooh. Oh, nice.
So much.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? Any questions? Nice.
So, okay.
It's not easy, is it?
Yeah. So as I was saying, like, companies were used to kind of clone stuff very fast and iterate very, very easily. This is not the case with hybrids. Hybrids kind of takes time to build. For instance, I recently even checked that, let's say, the Alien Invasion that we covered, the big hybrid that's currently on the market under Crazy Labs portfolio account. Actually, if you look into multicast gaming account, there's another game which is exactly the same game but with a fishing team. Like, they had Alien Invasion just before, but it was about fishing, where you were going around with a boat and you were fishing fish. And the story I heard is that their UA just didn't work. So now they went with the same exact game, just with Alien team, and suddenly it's making what, like 5-6 mil a month?
Yeah, another 50%
like that.
from that.
50-50 around that. So yeah, it's this kind of iteration, and you could see that the team took the learnings from that game, even improved it, and this product know-how will be very, very important later down the line, because hyper-casual studios, all those, you know, external people sitting somewhere in Turkey, Vietnam, India, Indonesia, like all around the place, they need to learn product now much harder than they would. Like, I remember talking to like a hyper-casual person or like a studio in September in Istanbul, and like the main KPI he was always telling me about is just seconds. Like, my first session is 600 seconds. Like, why are we even talking about this KPI? And this shows the difference that people there need to switch, and they need to switch kind of fast, unfortunately, because the market, you know, isn't slowing down. And my guess is by half of next year, you'll have probably like 2 to 3 templates already.
Yeah.
On
And
top
the
of
market
what we
will be
have.
closed, huh?
And market will be closed. Like it will be closing very fast because once these studios kind of figure out that, okay, this is how we make the hybrid, okay, so let's do that then, and let's create multiple templates. How can you catch up then? Because if the whole market share is, you're already losing the first mover advantage. Like keep in mind that all the casual games, for instance, if you remember like, I don't know, 3 years before, remember the merge genre? Everybody was doing a merge game. Do you see anyone doing merge games now? No, because it's very hard. There's like so many of them, and you have Pedro Pascal advertising merge mansion. It's very hard to get there, and same will happen with hybrid casual. Eventually, all of those kind of specific genres, even the arcade idol, they'll run out of people that are willing to pay, because that's how like casual mid-core games work. You cannot really support more than 1 or 2 games with your wallet. But you can support multiple games with viewing ads, as hyper-casual was used to. People playing hyper-casual games were playing like 20 games on their mobile. But with mid-core, casual core, how many Candy Crushes can a housewife support? Ask yourself. Like 1, 2, maximum, that's it.
Can I ask you a question about like the ad monetization of hybrid casual games? Like your opinion. So Alien Invasion is the only hybrid casual game that does dynamic rewards increasing based on
the conversion.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Alien Invasion basically is 50-50 split with IAP and ads. And the ads is actually done very cleverly. So they show a rewarded ad placement every 23 seconds. Only rewarded ads, no interstitials or banners. Essentially what they do is, if you don't interact with 5 rewarded ad placements or don't convert, what they start doing is increasing the amount of rewards you get for watching the rewarded ad by 4% until you actually convert. It's actually the only hybrid casual game that
don't take the first offer. That's
yeah, exactly. So it actually helps you if you actually leave the game open, leave it open for maybe like 15 minutes, you're going to see your rewards being super high, and they don't cap it. So fun trick, right? If you play it a lot. But I don't get why and not like publishers or like game producers don't do this, because it's super
because
clever.
It's product know-how, man. That's the thing I told you. It's product know-how.
So you think it's just people don't know better?
Yes.
That's what they're not doing?
Yes, because you're not coming from a mid-core casual studio. You're coming from a hyper-casual one, which is not, common. Like this tactic was first time I saw it with Idle Journey, was it, or Adventure, either Adventure Communist or Idle Journey or something like that.
Well, no, Jam City's going to do it next time, right? No, for their hyper casual. Yeah. Anyway, we should do it as well. But yeah.
Yeah. So this is like an old trick, but if you're not from that, field of expertise, you don't know about these old tricks, and this is what we're pretty much like going into. Like people.
I think in economics they call it finding a new equilibrium.
Yeah, but a lot of these studios will unfortunately die in the process. Like all of those like external hyper-casual studios that were like popping like mushrooms during Corona, and everybody was into gaming suddenly because gaming, went like engagement went 50% high because everybody was staying home at Corona. So like a bunch of developers just got into the industry. Was the first thing that you do? Oh, hyper-casual, that's the easiest to get into. But now, yeah, it's not that easy, and yeah, unfortunately, people need to switch and switch fast.
But there's a couple of new hybrid casual games that that are announced to be releasing. That's going to come out soon. That could be increasing to this 5 list, right?
Such as
Say Games. They're coming out with
the King or Fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice iteration with the combat loop on top of the arcade idol. I'm really looking forward to that one. But yeah, let's see. Haven't seen it trending that much yet. Like actually, I'm kind of more interested also on the other side of the spectrum here. That what the core mid-core people will come up with, because they start taking the hyper-casuals kind of ground by implementing hyper-casuals into their games. We already seen it through UA lately, that you have all of those like pesky ads with like guys.
They're not pesky, they're beautiful and they earn money, so stop.
just wait until products steamroll over ads later. So we have these ads that are getting worse and worse. And the UA people, yeah, pity that Matej is not here.
When you say worse, do you mean like they convert better, so you get higher ECPM?
They're more fake and fake and fake.
Ah, okay.
Literally, like at some point we're gonna start with no actual gameplay that's like concerning the real game, and it's like all fake. But now we kind of prolong the illusion so much that we have a mini game built on top of our main game, like we see with Frozen City and Whiteout Survival. Like for those who don't know, this is the best example here, where literally the company A/B tested the whole game for the other game. So they ran an A/B test in start of December with Frozen City. Everybody was like, oh, this game is making millions, it's amazing. But that was not the main game. Actually, what they did is that they created this nice, amazing game, But in the meantime, they were having this 4X monster somewhere there behind the scenes, and they just put this game in front of that game and launch it again in the same month. So imagine you're launching a simulation game at start of December, and then in half of December, you're launching that same exact game with the 4X core duct tape on top of it, making, what, 25 mil a month?
Yeah, I can translate for anyone who's listening to Remiar now. What he's trying to say is that basically, if you lie to your users and have a really easy, casual funnel for first-time user experience, you can catch more users, and then you can duct tape a really complicated gameplay after this first day, and you're going to make a lot of money.
Third day.
Third day.
Yeah, it's like we're going more and more to this road. I don't see like any kind of way out of it. So we'll see.
Is it a bad thing necessarily?
It's not a bad thing. It just again increases the requirements for building games because again now if you're like core mid-core, we need to build that hyper casual core, this fake UA funnel until we get there, and then duct tape it and connect it properly with our like whatever super big LTV high core, and only then the thing starts working. So imagine how many people you need to throw at the problem then.
2?
Like, let's talk a bit like current things. So
no. Let's ask if someone wants to ask some questions, because we've been talking non-stop for 25 minutes about lying to users and making people watch ads. Does anyone have any questions, or do you just want to listen to us keep talking about what we
Warcraft Rumble.
Warcraft Rumble and stuff like that?
No, we continue with Warcraft Rumble.
Ah, we got a question.
Oh,
what's up?
Yeah, go ahead.
You talked about this trick, let's say, converting users to watching ads, so increasing the value step by step. But of course, from a game design perspective, there's an issue with it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but you would also teach the user to always decline until you come to a point where it seems like you get enough value. So in the long term, you might convert more non-watchers, but also you might, that's a risk and to think of, you also might cut or cannibalize from future revenues. Because we, by the way, we tried something similar.
Did you do it like after? So basically, how Alien Vision does this is like there's a pretty clear point I think they have where essentially most of the users make a conversion, an IAP conversion. I think it's by day 1 or day 2 in Alien Invasion. So they only start doing this trick with increasing ads on day 3. So it's after that.
And it didn't work for you when you ran the test?
We had it earlier, right? So I think that seemed like a good compromise. Trying to go from day 3. Yeah.
What I usually say when I work with people is like segment your users, because essentially like you have a great game if 2% of people make a purchase, right? And then your mobile game is amazing. So what you want to do is you want to separate those purchasers from the 98% of people that don't contribute to your bottom line, right? And if you segment your users correctly, you'll have 98% of people watching a lot of ads that actually contribute to your bottom line. It's not going to make or break your game, but it's going to help you.
Yeah, the problem with segmentations is, you need to kind of start it very soon, otherwise again you're losing, because whatever, let's show ads only after level 10, but what about until level 10? So, yeah, then some, ML predictions goes in blah blah blah, usual thing.
I heard something from over here as well.
Yeah, and the questions were, you see that? Yeah, there's a question.
Yeah.
I heard a couple of times today reviewing the topic that they will be scared of King of Failure. Did you see
Why do we think King of Failure is because it's part of the Say Games template, the arcade idol one? We've seen it. They just added the combat loop on top of it, which is again very kind of adjusted to arcade idol part. For those who don't see it, it's pretty much.
The trailer looks amazing as well.
Yeah, it looks exactly like My Perfect Hotel, just it's a medieval castle, but at some point you literally go into combat by like stepping over combat button with your...
My Perfect Hotel with a sword.
Like, yeah, so my guess is that the CPI will...
Yeah, 100%.
My guess is that the CPI will be higher, so it's probably a worse kind of a team to scale, but it could work pretty well if the LTV is so high to offset this, if the high rate part works like it should. So I would say it's 50-50, like if it fails or no. Something like that.
50-50?
Yeah.
Wow. It's going to succeed, I think. It's going to do well. Yeah.
The game will make money.
It's going to make a lot of money. Say Games, it's like a mint.
Of course, you need to define what's success at some point, like what scale is the scale you're looking for. Like for instance, Hobby, like all the like Pumble and Hinge Around, they're just sitting on their portfolio making like what, like 200k, 300k a month, but for them it's a failure because, you know, Survivor AI is making like what, 15k, 20 mil, 15 mil a month, so what's that? That's nothing, peanuts for them.
Okay. One last question and then we have to jump off the stage.
Or Warcraft Rumble?
We don't have time to go through that one. Yeah,
Yeah, you can see it on the podcast this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
a new game, I don't really know, it's too hardcore for me. It doesn't have any ads, it's boring.
I have two questions. The first one is, you said that by providing the opportunity for the customer to cancel the ad by buying the cancellation.
You mean skipping it?
Can we say that it's a trend, right?
Yes, it's...
Yeah, absolutely.
And except this trend, could you please, in brief,
So from an ad monetization perspective on hybrid casual games, the trend is there's two types of broad genres of hybrid casual games from an ad monetization perspective. Those who monetize with rewarded ads only, and those who monetize with all types of ads. In the genre or in the category that monetizes with all types of ads, interstitials, banners, and rewarded, they categorize in two ways. So intrusive ads, which is banners and interstitials, they go away when you make any type of IAP. So basically that's used to make the experience so annoying, so you actually make an IAP, and it's used to boost the kind of offering, right? To make the IAP more appealing.
Yeah, that's the annoying school of thought.
Yeah, and the rewarded ad is never removed, right? But you can actually buy stuff to remove the rewarded ad experience. You can get a complete free one. Before you bought something for $19.99 or something like that, but now you only remove banners and interstitials, and then you have to still deal with the rewarded ad. And then, yeah, on the reward ad side we talked about already.
Yeah, the other school of thought is no intrusive ads, no banners, no something, and we try to preserve retention as much as possible. Because IP economy is strong enough that it's literally 50% of the revenue. That's the second one. Yeah, I need to run unfortunately because I have a panel which continues this hybrid casual discussion in the next hall if you want to stand, like, hang out for that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.